What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back for another Good Morning Tottenham. So good morning to everyone out there. Just 35 minutes left of the morning, and we've got some breaking news, actually. Lionel Messi to Tottenham. Here we go from Fabrizio Romano now. But it's just before we get into all the Tottenham news, it's absolutely mad what is going on in Barcelona right now, isn't it? It's absolutely crazy. The way I think this is actually going to play out, I think he's going to end up at Barcelona for some sort of strange reason. I think that La Liga, with all the rules they've got going on now, I can't see them. I mean, I can see them justifying the rules and modifying the rules a bit to get Messi back into La Liga, because without Messi, that league is a completely dead league. I mean, it's dead with him, to be honest.
It seems as though La Liga were trying to hold Barca to ransom, and the deal they had on the table was we'll allow Messi to be accepted, the new contract to be accepted, if we allowed a portion of your broadcasting rights or something like that. That's what La Liga were kind of saying, and Barcelona decided, instead of agreeing to that and keep Messi at all costs, they thought, the president said he thought of the bigger picture and said, actually, we're not going to jeopardise the future of the club to keep Messi. No one's bigger than the club, even someone like Messi. So unless La Liga change their tune, it seems like that's the direction it's gone in at the moment. It does seem to me, I agree with you, it does seem to be at the moment a bit of a power play between the two parties at the moment. Kind of Barca know that La Liga can't afford not to have Messi. The Liga are trying to hold Barca to ransom to try and get extra money out of them. So it's a bit of a messy situation, as they say. But,
no pun intended, yeah.
Definitely a pun intended. But it'd be interesting to see where he goes if he doesn't remain at Barca, because
I mean, the front runners are PSG, clearly.
They're the front runners, and that would give them an unbelievable front three: Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi. But how, what wages they're paying for that front three? Unbelievable, man.
Don't worry, they got the money.
That would be incredible. But I guess the only thing I can hope for is he goes City, and then that shuts Kane out. That would be unbelievable.
Do you think if he does go to City, that does shut Kane out?
Yeah, for sure.
Why is that?
Because they're playing Messi up front.
Could you not play a front three of Grealish, Kane and Messi?
I mean, you could. They're going to sign a whole new front three.
I don't know. Why? Because they got the money and they can.
Yeah, but they got players, so that means... look, that could happen if they sell a few players, if they sell Mahrez and Bernardo and maybe Sterling. If they have to sell at least two of those, I would say, for that to happen. But I can't see them signing Messi and Kane. I can't see that.
Yeah, I can't really see it either, but it is a possibility. It is a possibility, but all the rumours are telling us that this is going to be to PSG. That's what everyone's saying. No one's really linking Man City that harshly to them. To
the Master is saying Man City interested, but at the moment it's just PSG seem to be in the running. And other than that, who else is there? Maybe Chelsea, if they decide to go for Messi instead of Lukaku, they could afford him. Other than that, who else can really afford him? Like Bayern, they never do big deals like that. Juventus, are they going to have...
It's just wages, though. You're forgetting. It's no transfer fee involved.
Yeah, but you're going to have to give him a big signing on fee and big wages.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's going to kind of say, look, I want $500,000 to come and play for your team. Maybe he's got in his head that he is going to take that pay cut, 250, and might go 250, 300, something like that. Because I don't think any club, even PSG, are going to pay him $500,000 in wages.
PSG might.
I just don't think they will. I mean, I just can't see it. $500,000 is a lot of money. How much are they playing Neymar?
It's true, but you think they could probably get that back in how much Messi will bring to PSG. They could bring that back, earn like shirt sales and all that kind of stuff. You'd get a lot more attention in the French league.
So tell Daniel Levy to get on it then.
Yeah, as if Messi's ever going to touch the Conference League. Yeah, right. Not in a million. You know, the annoying thing is, if we still had Pochettino and we were in the Champions League right now, I reckon there's like a 0.1% chance we could get him.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I think there would be right now if we had like Romero, Lo Celso, and Pochettino as manager.
And you know what was what broke the camel's back? What was the straw that broke the camel's back? Was Romero. Apparently, Romero put in the knife and twisted it when he joined Tottenham because...
Well, it's conflicting because...
That's what Ali Gold was saying last night.
I know. I think they're saying that Messi did want Romero to sign for Barca, but Barca is saying that he did agree a deal, so he didn't reject it. It's La Liga who rejected it. So it's difficult to know what's true at the moment. Maybe Barca are just saying that to kind of save face. I don't know. We never know what these clubs are just PR machines at the moment.
True.
And you don't know what's true and what's not.
Very true.
A lot of the time when they do a public statement, it seems all official and like, oh, this must be the truth. But a lot of the time it isn't the truth.
Look, when you see Christian Romero pull up at Hotspur Way today, don't be surprised to see Lionel Messi in the back seat. That's all I'm saying, and that's all I'm saying. But joking aside, we've got some proper Spurs news to bring to you today. It looks as though Christian Romero's announcement is imminent, and for all to see, it could be announced today. Dan Kilpatrick confirming it could be announced today, and he's saying that we've got past the quarantine period because he's had those 2 vaccines. He's not going to have to quarantine, so he's expected to be announced today and to be paraded to the fans at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Sunday against Arsenal. I mean, how big is this signing for you?
I think it's massive. I'm hoping it's a game changer for us getting someone like Romero through the door, because we've needed someone aggressive at centre back, someone who plays on the front foot, is comfortable stepping out into midfield, likes to play aggressive and on the high line. The defenders that we have at the moment in Dyer, Sanchez, and obviously Toby last season, none of them were very comfortable stepping out too much and being very, very aggressive.
None of them were comfortable doing any defending, to be honest.
Yeah, I know, but I've always felt like they kind of they were hanging back a bit because they were worried too much about being caught out behind and things like that.
Was that not a direction from Jose Mourinho as well?
I think it was half a bit. I think at times they were tasked with being more aggressive, and they kind of failed at that quite badly. So I think Romero is a player with supreme confidence at the moment, one of the most informed centre-backs in Europe at the moment. He's just off the back of a Copa America win, off the back of a Serie A Defender of the Year award. So I think this could potentially be a game changer, but it's only a game changer if we get the other bits of the recruitment right. I think he has the I think it was Ali Gold said Spurs feel that even with the Romero signing, he needs a bit of a leader next to him. So whether he's a leader or whether he's one who can kind of got obviously supreme quality, but whether he's the one to lead a defence or be part of a strong defence, I guess remains to be seen.
Look, everyone's heard a lot about Christian Romero since we've been linked with him. We want to know more from people who watch Serie A week in, week out about Christian Romero, and who better to get on than Romeo Agresti. Let's get him on, a big friend of the channel, Romeo, and he's self-pronounced Tottenham fan now as well. Romeo, how are you?
Morning, guys. From Christian Romero to Romero Agresti.
Exactly. How are you, Romeo?
Guys. I'm good. And you guys?
Yeah, we're very good,
right,
thank you. I mean, we're getting very excited with the Christian Romero transfer about to happen now. Obviously, we know that Paratici signed him for Juventus, and then he went on loan back to Genoa, and then he went on loan to Atalanta. But what can you tell me about Christian Romero? How is he perceived out in Italy right now?
I like Romero so much, guys, because he was the best defender in the last Serie A, because he played a very good Copa America with the Argentina team. So I had the opportunity to see many matches by Romero when he was at Genoa, then when he moved to Atalanta, and he's a very strong defender. He likes to play strong. He has a strong attitude. He likes to play one-to-one. I think, guys, that is perfect to play in the Premier League. And, Paratici knows him very well, because he bought Romero when he was at Juventus. Then it was impossible for Romero to play at Juventus because there were Ligt, Bonucci, Chiellini, Demiral, the other guys. But I think that this is a very good signing for Tottenham, and I think that he can still improve because he's 23, so he could become a very important player for you.
Interesting.
Yeah, and obviously it was a complicated deal because Atalanta had an option to buy from Juventus, and they obviously exercised the option, then sold him on to Spurs for a bigger profit. Why do you think it never worked out that he actually stayed at Juventus and became part of their back four?
So, guys, I spoke to Juventus sources in the last days, and they told me that it was impossible 1 year ago to understand the potential of this player. because he needed to live an experience, a different experience. For example, for him was very important to play under Giampiero Gasperini, that is one of the best Italian coaches here, and he can play in the 3-5-2. He can play in 4-4-2. I think that he can do everything because he's a strong player. He's a strong player and he's very smart. So I repeat, he's a beautiful, unbelievable signing for you.
You know, we've spoken a lot about kind of what good he brings, but are there any negative sides to his game in terms of Christian Romero?
Sometimes he's too strong, guys. Sometimes he's too strong. He's always bookie, yellow card.
Yeah.
Then if you play in the Premier League, of course, I don't think that you can have always this attitude. But it's perfect for you. It's perfect for you, and I'm sure that really, guys, he can still improve because he's young. But his last season at Atalanta was unbelievable. He played a lot of matches, and the guys is able to score by free kick, by corner. So these are important characteristic for the modern football.
One question a few Spurs fans have been asking is if there's such a good defender, he got Serie A Defender of the Year last season, very, very highly thought of it in Italy. With Spurs in the Conference League, how are we managing to get him? Why is no one else in for him?
So, guys, to be fair, no, to be fair, I can say just that if we speak about Christian Romero, we speak about one of the best defenders in the world. That's the point. I was a little bit surprised that Tottenham were interested in signing this player because it's too expensive. We are talking about 50 million euros. Yeah. But Tottenham did a beautiful signing, and I spoke to a person very close to Christian. When he heard for the first time that Tottenham were interested in signing him, he told to this agent, "Okay, let's go there. I don't want to talk about with other clubs. I want to go to Spurs because I'm Paratici, because I want to play in the Premier League, and because I like the project of Tottenham." So he's so motivated to play for you guys, and I think that it will be an idol for Spurs fans because you love this kind of players.
Yeah. Does it worry you at all, Romeo, that he's only had one real proper season at the top of his game just yet? I know he is only 23, but for such a big fee, does it worry you that he's only had one proper big season as of yet?
This is the market, guys. We are speaking about a particular transfer window. It's not easy to find the right profiles to improve the level, the quality level of the squad. That's true that he played just a big season in his career, but I had the opportunity to see him when he was at Genoa. He played there for 2 seasons. Of course, if you play for Genoa, you must to keep the Serie A to play to maintain the category. If you move to Atalanta, you can play in the Champions League and maybe you can try to win the title. It's different, but Romero is the same. He's always a beautiful defender, and I think that Tottenham will still improve because, I repeat, the Premier League is the perfect league for his skills.
And there's rumours that part of the reason Messi has decided to leave Barcelona, Romero was involved in it. He wanted Romero to join Barcelona, and that deal didn't get over the line, and he wasn't happy about that. Couple of questions. Is there any truth to that? Did Messi really want Romero at Barca? And could Messi join Romero at Spurs?
I don't think that Messi leaves for Romero, but that's true that he likes Romero, and maybe when he had some talks with the board for his negotiation, maybe he asked to bring Romero in Spain. But as I told you guys, for Christian, his first choice was always Tottenham. When he heard for the first time that he had this opportunity, he told to his agent, "Let's go there." Maybe because he thinks that the Premier League for his skills is better than other leagues.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, and I cannot wait to see him pull on that Spurs shirt, and I think it's going to be announced today. But moving on from Cristiano Romero, have you heard any inklings about any other transfers involving Tottenham or Fabio Paratici so far, moving on in the window?
Fabio knows very well our stuff in Italy. Then we spoke about Tomiyasu. Then he bought Romero. Maybe he can do something from Italy. I don't have, to be honest, fresh news, fresh updates about that. But I know very well that he's full of energy. He's happy, very, very happy to be in London. He's developed your project, so he knows what he has to do. Do you remember that, guys, what I told you when we spoke for the first time, that in my personal opinion, Fabio is the best sporting director in the world. So now I hope that he will show his skills at Tottenham as well, and I hope to go in London this season to watch a match by Tottenham. Maybe if we can arrange a beer together, it will be a big pleasure, guys. But I will support Tottenham this season in England.
When you come to London, you have to make sure to let us know. We'll get you tickets for the game, and we'll get you some beer as well. So
Definitely.
Looking forward to seeing you back in London.
Thanks, guys. It will be a very pleasure. But I'm so excited for you because I think that Tottenham can do a very great season. Of course, now it's impossible to say that Tottenham will fight to try to win the title because, Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, they are the clear favorites to win the Premier League.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that Tottenham will be included in this short list, and they will fight. They will fight because I like the project. I like Gollini, for example. For me, he's a very good goalkeeper. Romero is a beautiful defender. Then maybe Fabio will do something in the market. So the squad is good. But I have a question for you guys. What will happen with Harry Kane?
Harry Kane. I mean, this is the $1 million question at the moment. But in terms of Harry Kane, he wants to go. He wants to go to Man City. Man City want him. I think if they pay the money that Daniel Levy wants, he'll go. But if Man City don't put in the bid that Daniel Levy wants, he won't go. And that's as simple as that, really.
I wonder if we get big money for Harry Kane, if maybe we can revisit Dybala. What do you reckon?
Paolo is not for sale, and in the coming days he will renew his contract. But I have a name for you. Maybe if Harry Kane will sign for Man City, be careful on Vlahovic.
Yeah, so I was hearing that Vlahovic has been offered a new contract at Fiorentina today. Is that right?
At the moment, he doesn't want to renew his contract, and but I know a little bit Fabio, and if he will sell Harry Kane for a huge price to Man City, I think that we can try to Vlahovic, and Vlahovic is an unbelievable striker, guys.
You think he could replace Harry Kane, Vlahovic, in your opinion?
Yeah, for sure.
Really? No problems.
Of course, guys, Harry Kane is one of the best strikers in the world. Maybe Vlahovic in the future could be Kane, one of the best strikers in the world. But if I sell Harry Kane, I prefer to put on the table for a young player, and Vlahovic is the best young striker in the Serie A at the moment.
I mean, he's had a great season with Fiorentina. I think he got 21 goals in the league last season for Fiorentina. But again, similar to Cristiano Romero, he's only really had one season where he's been at the top of his game. Does that worry you as well, or not as to Cristiano Romero?
No, that's true what you say, man. But I think that Vlahovic has a huge potential to play already at a top team like Tottenham is. Because I know very well that if he will leave Fiorentina, he wants to play just in a top team. So Juventus were potentially interested if Cristiano Ronaldo leaves, but he will stay at Juve. Then they will decide to not open negotiation for Vlahovic. But Vlahovic is a top player, and if Tottenham will sell Harry Kane, I'm pretty sure that he will be included in this hot list to replace Harry.
And do you think Vlahovic comes in straight away and gets a starting spot at Tottenham, or do you reckon there'll be some bedding in period there?
Guys, you must do step by step when you go to Tottenham, but I think that if he will sign for Tottenham, will have immediately a good impact because he knows how to score. He scores always in Italy, so he can do the same also in England.
And look, one more question. If we do sell Harry Kane, what about Lautaro Martinez? Would he be any chance Tottenham would be able to maybe strike a deal with Inter if that was to happen? You reckon?
Mate, Inter can sell everyone there because Hakimi to Paris Saint-Germain, Lukaku to Chelsea. Unfortunately, the problem that Eriksen has, then I don't think that they will sell Lautaro Martinez this summer. And in my personal opinion, I prefer to see Vlahovic at Tottenham than Lautaro Martinez because he's a different striker. Okay, Lautaro is a very, very good player, but Vlahovic, in my personal opinion, can become stronger than Lautaro.
Wow.
All right.
Very
Wow.
interesting. But Romeo,
go.
thank you so much for coming on again today. And when you do come to London, do let us know. We can't wait to meet for a beer. We really can't.
It's always a pleasure, guys, and see you in London physically to drink a beer together.
Looking
Very
forward
good,
to it,
man.
Romeo. Good to see you, my friend.
Always
Have a nice
great
day.
getting your insight,
You
man.
too.
I'll see you soon.
Thanks for coming on.
And that was
Alright.
the great Romeo Agresti, always giving us exciting snippets. I mean, last time he
insight.
was on, he told us Fabio Paratici is going to be the best sporting director, bar none. And we're definitely seeing the fruits of his labour right now in terms of Fabio. He's saying Christian Romero is one of the top centre-backs around Europe. And as well, Dusan Vlahovic as well.
The world, he said.
In the world, yeah.
And Vlahovic, that was interesting. They were
yeah.
saying about Vlahovic as well.
And he was saying he would rather see Tottenham sign Vlahovic than Lautaro Martinez, which is
Yeah.
very interesting.
Clearly extremely highly thought of. I think, should we cut to the thumbnail quickly? Because I think there's a big audio issue we need to deal with.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think we'll reset the audio. We'll be back in a second, guys. Oh, we've just crashed.
So was that whole Romeo?
It was,
interview
but
screwed
we're
then?
recording on the Wirecast, so it was okay. The live was fucked, yeah.
Oh, we're back.
Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna go for
Yeah, Joe, cut to thumbnail.
Alright, what's going on, guys? We are Tottenham TV. We are back, but do let us know in the comment section below if there is a lag or if the audio has been improved. Just let me know in the comment section below. We do have some more headlines to get through today, and then we'll be taking in some callers as always. But do let me know in the comment section below how the audio is, so we can carry on with the stream. All right, people are saying it's good now. All right, brilliant.
Awesome.
So the next,
and just to let you know as well that the interview with Romeo Aggressive we just did, we've recorded it and it's going to go on the channel. The audio will be fine on the video, so you can go watch it there with no issues.
Yeah, as soon as we come off air, we'll be uploading that, so don't you worry about that. But the next topic that we're going to be no, not signs offered. The next headline we're going to be talking about today is about Dusan Vlahovic. And if you heard Romeo Agresti talking, he was saying how highly thought of he is in Italy and how highly thought of he thinks of him. And he was saying to us that if we had the choice to sign Vlahovic or Lautaro Martinez, we should go for Vlahovic.
Which was very interesting, which I almost could be thinking maybe Vlahovic is a lot highly thought of than even I thought than in Italy. Like, clearly he had a great season, but maybe this season was a lot better. I just thought he'd was banging the goals, but maybe there's a lot more to him than being a target man.
Yeah, but the news is that Fiore release clause. Romeo did tell us on the channel just a moment ago that he is not, not that he's not considering it, but he doesn't want to sign it.
Yeah.
So that's the situation with him. And it's also worth noting that Inter Milan had a bid, £50 million bid rejected last night for Dusan Vlahovic. But also what's worth noting about that bid is that Fiorentina did come out a couple of weeks ago, or 2-3 weeks ago. There was a rumour saying that they don't want to sell to a Serie A club. So that might be a reason why they wouldn't accept a 50 million bid.
That'll definitely help us. And I think Vlahovic seems very... he seems a confident guy. He seems an ambitious player. If he already looking at a move from Fiorentina, they did finish 13th in the end, I think, in last season.
Maybe even lower. Yeah.
I think they finished quite low in the table. So I think he's a player who definitely is looking at the next stage of his career already. Reportedly, the contract would have included a £70 million euro release clause. So I wouldn't be surprised if he looks at that and thinks, why would I reduce my chances of leaving by signing a contract with such a big release clause? So I think that would be if he rejects a contract, that's definitely going to be beneficial to us. And it was interesting hearing Romeo talk about him. Say, we asked him, do you believe Vlahovic could come in and replace Harry Kane? And he didn't even stutter. He was at 100%. I feel like Vlahovic could replace Kane. He said he wouldn't be surprised, and if a few years' time you're looking at one of the best strikers in Europe in Vlahovic. That's what he said. And he said he could be the new Harry Kane. And that got me thinking that maybe this is a player that he's a must.
We didn't know much about Paratici before he came in, and Romeo completely got so excited about him, and now he's doing the same for Christian Romero and Vlahovic as well. But he's been spot on. He was spot on about Paratici so far.
Yeah, Paratici is definitely showing his worth. He's showing exactly what he was brought in for. So that's definitely he's definitely been negotiating the way we want him to negotiate. Obviously, we still got a lot of work to do, and that's not totally his fault. But I think at the moment he's doing as well as he can, pretty much, of what he's got to deal with. He's still got to get a lot of players out the door. But yeah, Paratici's doing a good job, I feel. But when it comes to what you're saying about Vlahovic, it was very, very encouraging. And I think he's a player, definitely he's gettable. Obviously, we know that. As long as we stump up the right cash, I think he's one we can definitely get through the door. And if he's as highly thought of, if he's as good as Romeo thinks he is, then we could have a real player on our hands.
And
but
it's
we'll have
very
to,
exciting if we can get someone like that over the line. But if we do get like a Vlahovic over the line, we still need another, don't we?
Especially if Kane
goes.
Leaves.
I mean,
yeah, if Kane doesn't go, then we don't. But yeah, if Kane goes, of course we need another one. We can't just rely on Vlahovic for the whole season.
Yeah.
But I do get a feel. But
what do you think they'll go with Vlahovic and Son?
Yeah, I have a feeling that might be the case.
Yeah, Vlahovic, Son, and then we do have a Gil who can come play on the left.
Then we have Gil, Bergwijn, Lucas, and maybe we'll sign another winger.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to sign a winger than it is to sign a striker.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Right,
I mean, it seems as though there is a lack of top quality strikers out there.
Yeah, they're hard to come by.
Yeah,
especially ones like Kane who are like proper number 9s. You can get false 9s and you can get a fast, like maybe quick strikers, but like people like Kane who kind of do everything, hold up, finishing like that. They're extremely hard to come by.
Yeah.
Those skill sets. So it's difficult, and it's a lot easier to just get a winger or even a wing forward who can come into the team than it is to get a striker. So I wouldn't be surprised if they use if we use Son as a striker next season if Kane were to leave and get Vlahovic in.
What Alistair Gold was saying this morning is that post Christian Romero, we are going to need to sell before we buy.
Yeah. Doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't surprise me as well, but with the figures that we're reported to spending on players, over 20 million bid for Damsgaard, 50 million for Vlahovic, all these prices being bandied about. Who can we get out the door that we can get significant money in? There's no
Sanchez.
one. That's the only one. There's no one else really.
Yeah, because Aurier, the limit is like 10 million. I don't think getting any more than that.
Even that's a big ask.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a limit. You're not getting more than 10. Sissoko, you're not getting more than 10.
I don't even think you're getting more than 5 for Sissoko.
I think you can get 7, 8, I reckon, for Sissoko. You're not getting more than 10. So even that's like 15 million between Aurier and Sissoko, let's say. So then Sanchez, you'd be lucky to get 30. 25 is probably the price for him. So that's for 40 million there. So that's one player. And then
Winks maybe 15, 20 million.
Then 20 million for Winks, I think you're looking at. And then Doherty maybe
5 million.
5 million for Doherty. Yes, 25 million. And I guess maybe he might have to sacrifice like a Lucas. I don't know. It's difficult. Ben Davis, 10 million there maybe. Then there's maybe another player, Davis, Winks, and who would I say?
Davis, Winks, Sanchez, Doherty.
But look, we're talking about these players, but it's impossible to get them all out the door. It's just not possible. You can't get 8, 9 players like that for money out the door in one window. It's just not feasible. So
unless Paratici is a real mental genius.
Yeah, so it does all point to Harry Kane, doesn't it?
Yeah,
in that sense.
It does. And as soon as we were linked with Christian Romero seriously for 50 million, that's the only thing I could think of is Harry Kane is definitely going this summer.
We can afford.
Yeah, but Christian Romero
without Kane.
Okay, fine, but we couldn't afford anyone else.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Is like if we're signing Christian Romero for 50 million, we still need many more players to come in. So that's why I thought Harry Kane is going to be off because of it. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I mean, cold hard facts. I mean, like I said, it just stinks of the Gareth Bale summer.
What about if a good offer came in for Delhi, 40 million?
Yeah, I mean,
it's another
it all depends. It all depends because if Delhi goes, you need to sign someone to replace him as well. A Damsgaard who will also cost like 30, 40 million. So
it's difficult. Yeah, it's difficult to find where we're getting the money from, basically.
Yeah.
And then if Levy holds out for getting the extra few million for the outgoings, you're at risk of them still being at the club next season, and that's an even worse situation.
Yeah.
I'd rather us sell cheap and then bide our time to sign than hang on to them and then kind of hang on to like a rotting apple basically in the squad.
And you do got to remember that if you do get like a Sissoko out the door, you're getting a big wage earner out the door, and whoever we bring in will probably be on lower wages than Sissoko is. So that's also you got to take that into account.
Yeah, exactly. So there is a bit of breaking news when it comes to Michael Dawson. Not only has he announced his retirement, but Spurs have officially announced that he has been named as a club ambassador.
Go on, Mickey Dawes.
So I'll read the statement from Tottenham. So yeah, he joins Ledley King as club ambassador. That's good news for him. I'll get the tweet up. Let's get the Twitter up, and you can all have a look at that. There you go. Can you see the phone? Says, I'll read the announcement. It says, we are delighted to announce Michael Dawson as new club ambassador following his decision to retire from playing football. During his time in N17, the affable Yorkshireman was a hugely popular figure among fans and in the dressing room. Went on to list some of his career highlights, like scoring against Chelsea and playing in Europe. Alongside his continued media work, Dawson returns to the club he calls home, joining our team of legendary ambassadors that includes the likes of Ledley King, Gary Mappa and Ozzy Ardiles. The 37-year-old will fulfill the role that will see him support the work of the club, its foundation and charitable partners within the local community, have a regular presence across the club digital channels and add value to our commercial partnership and engage with our fan base both at home and abroad. Last week, Dawson visited the new stadium for only the second time in the company of Ledley King and said, Spurs will always be my home. I enjoyed the most memorable moment of my career here, and the special connection I had with the club and its fans has never left me. I now return here during what is such an exciting time for us. The new stadium just blows me away every time I visit it, and it sounds like the direction the club is going. Although it's impossible to replace the feeling of playing, I'm so excited to begin the new chapter of my career at Spurs and being a part of this new era. I've always looked up to Ledley King from the minute I first joined and saw him play, so to be named ambassador alongside him and other names like Gary and Ozzy is a huge honour. I look forward to getting started in my new role and meeting as many fans as possible over the coming months. Dawson's first ambassadorial role appearance will be at this Sunday's double header against Arsenal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, with the Men's Mind series taking place at 2 p.m. So welcome back, Michael Dawson.
All right, big up Michael Dawson. Dawson and Ledley back together again in a partnership. Love that. Absolutely love that.
Brilliant stuff.
Yeah,
I'm looking. Hopefully, we can get to speak to him or something.
That would be great. That would be great. I mean, I've
always loved Michael Dawson.
Yeah, who hasn't? Guy. I mean, he was always made better with Ledley King next to him. But yeah, he is. You know, people notice him as a club legend, Michael Dawson. Yeah,
how long was he at the club? He was around from 2005 till 2013, so 8 years at the club, a long time.
Always wore his heart on his sleeve, you know what I mean?
Yeah, always gave 100%. I find when he was at his best as well, he was a very good centre-back. Played for England as well, was called up for England a few times, and his partnership with Eddie King was brilliant. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant, and they formed quite a perfect partnership. And he was a very lovable person.
He was, and he was always had a smile on his face, didn't he?
Yeah, and I felt like he loved being at Spurs, and I thought he made a great career at Tottenham. So yeah. I'll definitely welcome him back.
Definitely. We've got a few super chats to get through. One from very early on in the show was from Miguel, just saying, making sure that you all know that he did not crash his car last night or yesterday morning, and he was safe and sound when he was speaking to us from his car.
We were all wondering.
We were all worried. We were all wondering. So good to hear that you are safe and sound, Miguel. PD1347 says, Dumfries or Tomiyasu? Could we get Dumfries? It's funny with Dumfries because actually... I think he's favourite to go to Everton or something at the moment.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, Coleman just signed a new contract, but I guess they do need another right back. He's
aging, Coleman.
Yeah, he's definitely aging. I'll be upset if we miss out on Dumfries, allowing him to go to Everton, because he's definitely one who... I think we would definitely be higher up in the pecking order than Everton, you'd like to think.
A lot of people are worried about Dumfries' defensive capabilities.
Yeah.
Could be very similar to Aurier. Obviously, he's much better going forward than Aurier is, but going the other way could be an issue. What would you make out of that?
Yeah, that's true. He's not the best defensively, but I think if you can coach him into being a much better defender, and he's got all the physical... I know Aurier, I guess, had the physical attributes as well, but I feel like he's not as much of a loose cannon as Aurier was at the back. He might not be as good, like, maybe positionally and as a natural defender, but he's not gonna be like a bull in the china shop in the penalty area and stuff like that, like Aurier was. So I think there's less doubts about him than someone like Aurier at the back. There's also another bit of a snippet here from Alistair Gold saying that unfortunately it looks like Dennis Serkin is heading off permanently from
Sunderland.
Spurs.
Yeah,
I'm told he did not want to sign a new contract.
Interesting. How old is he?
He doesn't
Dennis
say.
Sirkin?
Doesn't say necessarily Sunderland. There are rumours he's going to go to Sunderland. He's 19, I believe, years of age.
Wow.
Dennis Sirkin. It looks like after he was spoken very highly of from Jose Mourinho last pre-season.
Then he got a big injury, I think.
Yeah, he was part of the Tottenham first team last pre-season, and Mourinho even mentioned he was going to be involved, but he wasn't in the end. And it
Because
seems,
of an injury.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't. I just don't. Yeah,
He got a big injury, and he only just came back like very recently.
Okay. Well, it seems as though he's not interested in signing a new contract. So it looks as that's right. He did get a big injury. Yeah, you're right. But it seems as though he's leaving permanently from Spurs. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't see to think he can make it to the first team, and he'll have better opportunities elsewhere.
Well, to be fair, when you look at the left back options we have with Ryan Sessegnon, Serge Reguilon, both young players. So it's a big ask for Sirkin to knuckle down a regular spot over the next 2-3 years, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I know he's young, but maybe he's thinking he wants to get the ball rolling in terms of getting competitive football going, and maybe he doesn't fancy a loan move. He wants a permanent home.
Look, at the end of the day, I would have loved him to stay. I really would have loved him to stay. But credit to him. Credit to him for not resting on his laurels. Credit to him for going out there, going in search of first-team football. I mean, I would have liked to see him sign a new contract and maybe for us to send him out on a loan. But it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, some players want to kind of get a loan deal with a path of going back to their parent club and getting a move, but some players just want a permanent home. They don't want to go on all these loan moves. They want to just be at a club and progress and know they're going to be there next season, and because when you're doing all these loan deals, sometimes you can be very unsettled, I feel. So maybe that's just what his characteristic.
He is very young.
Yeah, but maybe that's just what he feels. He feels he wants to be at a place where there's where he can get first team minutes, and it's just a permanent home instead of being back and forth all the time, which I can understand.
I hope this isn't one that comes and bites us again, though, because he was very highly thought of, especially by Jose Mourinho. So we'll see how this one plays out. But if he does end up leaving and not signing a contract, then best of luck to you, Dennis Sirkin, one of our own, obviously. And it was it was rumoured last night that he was going to make a move to Sunderland, but that hasn't been confirmed today or anything. A few more super chats to get through. Jensen Greenshield says, could we get a couple of $100 million for the stadium naming rights? I mean, I don't see why not.
We should get a lot of money for that, yeah, for sure, especially our stadium, and how nice it is and how big it is and everything like that. You should be able to get definitely one of the better deals in the Premier League, for sure. I don't know about a couple $100 million, maybe over like a 10-year period or something, but yeah.
And Santosh Guande says, thoughts on whether we should look at bringing back Noni Madueke. And actually, it ties in nicely with the Dennis Sirkin conversation, because you don't want that to happen again, do you? You don't want 3, 4, 5 years down the line to look to re-sign someone for 15, 20 million, even more. Yeah. And if Sirkin does hit the heights, that could easily happen.
Definitely, it's definitely one that we might look to in the future. But in terms of Madueke, should we look and bring him back? We should look at it if we believe he's the right player for us. Why not? Just because we had him before doesn't mean he's a player that we should immediately write off. He's clearly grown up as a player. Although I would say, is it too soon, or maybe we're getting in early, and maybe that's a positive thing, and because maybe in a year's time he could be worth double what he's worth now. So it depends how convinced we are on him. I think he plays in a position which he could definitely get some minutes in the Premier League, I think, on the right-hand side. But it's difficult because we just signed Gil, who's 20 years of age. Do we, if we got Gil and Madueke, are they both going to be playing? And that leaves not a lot of experience on the pitch. So, look, I wouldn't be against it. It's just... and it does definitely reduce the age of the squad, but it's probably with a view of more long-term than it is making impact this season. Yeah.
Having said that, though, he did have an astonishing season last year, and he started off this season probably even better than he was last season, Noni Madueke. Yeah. So we'll have to see. I mean, I think he's one that you could bring in with a potential to the future, like Dele Alli, for instance. We brought him into for the future. But he came in straight away and hit the ground running. So I think that you could see something similar with Madueke.
Yeah, I think so. That's what we would hope for.
Yeah. But yeah, there was also some headlines last night from DiMarzio talking about Harry Kane, saying that that Tottenham have remained firm on a very clear position. Harry Kane will respect his contract, which is due to expire in 2024. The rigidity of the club makes it very difficult to sell Kane. So Tottenham are still standing firm, saying Harry Kane will honour his contract.
Yeah, I'm sure he will honour his contract. He's not going to. I don't think he'll refuse to play. I mean, obviously,
Well, he's refusing to train.
Yeah, I know. I understand the situation right now. He's trying to push for a move, but I think once the season starts, he'll play. I've got no doubt about. No doubts about that. He will play for Tottenham if he's here by the end of the season. So, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he'll honour his contract in that sense. And if he won't, he will get fined. And I back the club fining him I don't think that's an issue. You don't turn up training, get fined. But I think that's something that Kane has to accept if he's going to do that. Obviously, I don't think Kane could expect to even just because he's pushed to remove doesn't give him the right to turn up for training consequence free. So I definitely think a fine is deserved. But I think we'll see how it plays out. Is it going to, especially with this Messi news, it adds another kind of element to the story. Now we'll see how that goes on over the summer. I'm sure Pep is going to be desperate to try and get him in. Whether it's possible or not is another issue, and whether if that will affect the Kane deal will be interesting to see. But so Spurs, of course, they're always going to put a hard stance. They will, of course. They're not going to budge an inch. Not until later on, anyway.
What's also interesting is that Jack Grealish got given the number 10 shirt yesterday.
With Jesus already having the number 9.
Yeah, it's very strange to me why they didn't keep that 10 shirt ready for Kane unless they're not that confident they can get it done.
I don't know. I wouldn't read too much into squad numbers. You'll find a squad number for him.
Yeah, I know, but still. Look, I think that when you're looking at putting the Kane deal in doubt, I think that the biggest thing will probably be the Messi, obviously on a free transfer right now, but I do expect that Messi might just end up back at Barcelona or at PSG. But look, over the next week or two, right until the end of this window, this Kane deal, no one's going to stop talking about Kane. And to be honest, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm absolutely sick to death about speaking about Kane. No, I really am. I was just like, I just can't be asked for it anymore. I just can't be asked. It's the same thing every day. Will he? Won't he? Will he? Won't he? Just get the deal done if you're going to do it. And if you're not going to do it, then come back to training. You know what I mean? I can't be asked for this, the whole rumble on right till the end of the window, overlap into our season.
We'll get strapped in.
I know.
This is
I've been here, seen it too many times. It's just just get it done already.
It is frustrating, I understand, but that's just reality. If Spurs are going to maintain the hard stance, then it's going to drag on. If they're going to accept a lower fee, then maybe we can get it done a bit earlier. That's just the reality of the deal. So that's what it's going to be. Because City won't pay, they're not immediately going to pay 150. They're clearly going to only go to 130. If we're demanding that we definitely only want 150, then it's just going to drag on till the deadline day, and we have to accept that. Yeah, I think.
But at the end of the day, if Spurs are maintaining that stance that they want 150 or nothing else, Man City, Sheikh Mansour, and everyone knows what Daniel Levy's about, knows what he's about. So why don't they just stump up apparently it's only 20 million difference to what they can offer anyway, or what they're proposed to offer from the Athletic said, what was it, a few days ago, that they're willing to go up to 130.
That's what I'm saying, 130, yeah.
So, I mean, there's only a 20 million difference. Is that what we're saying?
Hence why Kane is pushing.
Yeah, so why doesn't Sheikh Mansour just up that 20 million? It's not like they're struggling for cash over there.
Because they only want to go to 130. That's their price. Levy has a price and they have a price. Hence the impasse. Kane is pushing Levy to accept a lower fee. Levy is holding firm on 150. Man City don't want to pay more than 130. That's what they think is reasonable. Hence the impasse. Hence why it's going to drag on till the end of the deadline day, until one of them gives.
These deals, they have to be dictated by the selling club, not the buying club. And I think as much as I hate Daniel Levy...
Hence why Kane is doing what he's doing.
As much as I hate Daniel Levy and disagree with a lot of things he does, I think he's playing this one out well.
But hence why Kane is not turning up training and he's being a nuisance. This is why. Yeah. So that's it.
But Kane can't expect anything else, really.
doesn't matter what he expects. It's about what he's trying to do. He's trying to get the move. He feels that unless he makes a stink right now, there's no chance of Levy accepting a lower fee for him. So that's why he's trying to force the move, basically. Maybe that means that Man City aren't prepared to go to 150, and if that's the case, there's a good chance he's going to stay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
But if Kane was to just turn up to training now, as if everything's normal, and that means there's definitely no chance Levy will accept 150. There's no chance anyway, but I feel like there's
150.
130. Sorry.
I don't think there's a chance anyway. I really don't think there's a chance that that Levy accepts 130. I just don't. I think.
But the only way there is if Kane does what he's doing.
Yeah, maybe.
That's because if he doesn't put up a stink, then why would any scenario come to pass where Levy accepts less?
Stink or no stink, Daniel Levy still won't budge.
Correct. He's the most stubborn negotiator there is.
Exactly.
Right.
So,
But that's why, because he's so stubborn.
Yeah.
Kane feels like unless I make it extremely clear that I really don't want to be here, then there's no chance he accepts a lower fee. But look, you should be pushing Man City obviously to pay more. That's reality is, but this is how these transfers work. We've seen it a million times with a million other players when they try and get their move. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We'll see how it goes.
Look at how Jack Grealish dealt with his move. You know what I mean? Completely behind closed doors.
Different scenario.
Open. Yeah, I know it's a different scenario, but just look how the way he did it. Villa didn't want him to go. But look, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, he had a release clause.
Exactly.
So
there's nothing he could do.
Yeah, it is a completely different situation.
If Kane had a release clause and Man City activated it, I'm pretty sure Kane will still be coming to training, and then he would have gone. But it's different. He has to force it, and he's dealing with Daniel Levy. That's what he wants.
Let's give up this Harry Kane news now.
Alistair Gold has been talking about.
Mad.
Alistair Gold's been talking about Noni Madueke. He says he's a player Spurs would definitely like to bring back if possible, among other targets in the attacking midfield areas. But I think much depends on what happens now with the squad in the coming weeks, who leaves, freeing up space, and also adding funds. So Alistair Gold confirming Madueke is definitely a player Spurs are interested in and would like to, if possible, add him to the squad.
Well, he's still talking about Koundé as well.
Who?
Ali Gold.
What's he said about Koundé?
And he says, Ali Gold about Jules Koundé. Much depends on the player and whether Spurs had the funds to do the deal without selling first. Now Romero is arriving. Sevilla certainly have an interest in Sanchez and Spurs like Koundé. Let's see what happens with the Frenchman. I thought he was all set to join Chelsea.
Yeah, maybe there has been a bit of a snag. But I reckon he'll still get done, that Chelsea deal.
Chelsea are just concentrating on Lukaku at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, true.
They don't really have that much of a need to sign a centre back. Chelsea.
I think they could. I think Koundé's obviously an upgrade on Zuma and Rudiger probably and what they have. Maybe not Rudiger so much, but I think Zuma definitely is an upgrade.
So I think Rudiger's top centre back. Christensen's a top centre back.
And you got Silva
and you got Silva as well.
But they play three at the back, remember? So
yeah. True.
They need like six. Alistair Gold went on to say, it always gets like he wasn't against. It always get like he wasn't against moving to Tottenham, but they weren't his first choice. Was Real Madrid in particular his dream destination?
And no mention of Chelsea whatsoever.
He hasn't mentioned Chelsea, but I thought that was looked like that was nailed on. Maybe the fact that Zuma's not going has put some delays in it. And then they've moved on to Lukaku because they've seen an opportunity. I don't know, but I still think it's unlikely we're going to get him.
Just to let you guys know, the call-in link is in the community section right now. So if you want to call in, have your say, talk about anything Tottenham related, do click that link in the community section. It's open to all members. So everyone, if you do want to come and have your say, click the link in the community section and come and talk to us. We're looking forward. We look forward to speaking to you guys every morning now, Monday to Friday. So let's see what you guys want to talk about today. Is there anyone waiting in the back end? And if no one comes on, I guess the stream will...
come on.
When we get past the news, I mean, the stream will finish. I mean, it always gets longer with the... apparently there's a lag again.
Is there a lag in the audio again? Apologies, guys. We'll try and get that sorted. Is there any other? What other news is there?
That's it, really. that's it for today, I think. In terms of news, I think we've gone through everything there is to go through. So if there's no callers, we got some tweets.
Yeah, let's go through some tweets. We've got some tweets coming through. Let's react to some tweets. One sec. All right. Mobile Gamer says, I personally think that if Kane leaves, then that's awful, obviously, but we could replace him with Martinez as he won the Copa America and has been in Inter Milan. We could also destroy Arsenal's transfer for Martinez. What do you think? Well, first of all, I think a transfer of Martinez is very unlikely, just because I think Inter are selling Lukaku and they've already got big money for Hakimi, so there's not much need for them to sell Martinez at the moment, it looks like. And Vlahovic looks like apparently cheaper, and Romeo saying he could be a better option. So
I back Romeo Agresti, man.
Exactly.
I back Romeo Agresti. Vlahovic in. I mean, to be honest, yeah, I've never seen Vlahovic play, but the way Romeo speaks about him makes me very excited about him, because I know Romeo knows his shit. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Nicholas Michael, any chance of getting Messi, Agent Gio and Romero
No
for
chance.
the win?
No chance.
Definitely. We'll offer Messi 50 grand a week and then a massive goal bonus. That's what Levy will do. Super chat here. Miguel says, I would go on, but I'm driving and I don't want to get slated like yesterday. Big up, Miguel. Hope you're doing good. Someone's called in. We'll get them on.
Super Sai.
Clowns to the left of me says, is anyone seriously interested in signing our Deadwood? How low would you drop the price just to get rid of them?
I would drop quite low, to be honest. I think we spoke about this before, didn't we?
Yeah.
We spoke about this before, and I think, someone like Winks, I would take 15 million probably minimum. Davinson Sanchez, I'd probably take like 20, 25 million minimum. Sissoko, 5-10 million. I would go fairly low for these players to get them off the wage bill, and to get the players we need in through the door, because we're not going to get the players in until these players go.
Yeah, that's the reality. So we need to get them out, and we need to make sure we got a fresher team going.
Let's get Sai on.
Come on, let's speak to Sai, see what he's saying. Sai in the sun.
Exactly. Sai.
Mate, my friends, two quick test checks. Volume good, sound good, video good.
All good. You got the hat trick today. You got the hat trick.
That's it, mate. I'm having to put the camera the other way around as well, because literally this phone is on its last legs. The glass is gone everywhere. So let's hope it lasts.
It looks a lot more sunny where you are than where we are. It's currently pouring down with rain in Old Potter's Bar.
It's always sunny down here, mate. You know that. It's always sunny.
I look forward to coming to see you there. I look forward. But Sai, the boat awaits. Sai, what do you want to talk about today?
Obviously, just the excitement of the Romero deal. I thought it was going to be one of those that dragged out all summer.
Yeah.
I think that's a massive signing. I think, obviously, I appreciate they're probably doing a lot of work in the background, but I would like to see a couple more done a bit quicker. We're edging towards... This is the thing about the whole transfer window, and I appreciate we've had the Euros and the Olympics and everything, but the season sort of starts next week, and I always find, like, every year, and it's obviously not just our club, but everyone seems to struggle with this whole deadline thing. Perhaps it should be done before the season starts, because we sort of run out of time, and then you start the first 2-3 games, everything's all messy, and then you're deciding whether you want to add more players or remove players. For me personally, I think it's the headache of this Kane thing, mate. Like you said, Ben, it's too much for a fan these days. It's too much nonsense out there, and I'd rather just see it all done. Like as if you could just wake up tomorrow and everything's just done. But we know it's not that way. But the players we're linked with are pretty strong, and I'm quite confident that we will get most of those done. I think this is probably the first summer in a long time where we've actually got ourselves together and organised ourselves a bit better in the transfer market. But
have we?
Well, I think so. I think if you think about all the previous years of being all last minute, and certainly to the sort of last week, I think this
season starts in 8 days, and we've got so much work to do.
We do. I think we're probably ahead of most clubs, though. To be honest,
Not the clubs we're competing with, though. Surely.
well, it depends on who we're competing with. I mean, I always think that we're going to win the title. So I think we're going to be challenging all those ones. But I think we've done relatively okay business so far. I think we just need the extra defender, the extra midfielder, and get rid of the deadwood. And I think we're okay. I think we're on track. But
and a striker and a right back.
Right, I was trying to be positive there. No, you just added two more there to the equation. But yeah, no, I think it's one of the first times obviously Paratici has made a massive difference in that aspect. So I think long may it continue. But I'm pretty confident in the next week or so, especially as the Olympics ends, because I know there's a couple of players out there that are still interested. I'll come in. Have you lost me?
No,
Yeah,
you're
your
still there,
internet, your internet's going a bit dodge.
It's so bad. That's the one bad thing down here. Yeah, I'd like to see the Dane come across. I think that'd be a really good move, but only obviously if we try and get rid of a couple of players. But I guess the question to you guys, like, what's your thoughts on the transfers like so far? And the one or two that have been linked with us, what's kind of like your favourite one out of that you'd want to see the most come to us?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the transfer window so far for me has been a bit frustrating. It really has. I think that to get Romero through the door is absolutely sensational. To get a defender like that, of that stature, of that age, coming to Tottenham to play in the Conference League, I think it's absolutely brilliant. It is. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
when you've got players alongside him like Eric Dyer, Davinson Sanchez, and these kind of players, I think that it's a complete 2 levels above what we've got already. But I just feel that we're so close to the start of the season. We should have been doing these deals a lot earlier than we did. Playing catch up, not having a manager for 72 days obviously played a part in it. Fabio Paratici coming in 1st of July as well played a part of it. So I think everything has been delayed this summer, and it frustrates me, and it feels like to me that we're already playing catch up the start of the season. We don't know if Christian Romero is going to be fit enough to play first game of the season. He hasn't had a pre-season, has he? So, I mean, he's come back from the Copa America. He's come back late. So we don't know when he's going to be able to play consistently. So, I mean, it is tough. I mean, look at Tomiyasu, who've been linked with all summer. He's been at the Olympics. If he comes in, he's not coming in until a few games before the start of the season or after the start of the season. So we're stuck with Doherty or Aurier at right back for another few games. So, I mean, the defence still isn't looking that great. And I think that in terms of the players that we need to get out, we've got so much work still to do. And the season starts in just over a week for us. So I am a bit worried. But having said all that, it does seem as though things are moving in the right direction. And I think that's what I'm happy about. But I just felt that it should have been done a lot quicker to get us ready for this season.
I think I guess that's kind of along the lines of the point I was making. Is like I'm happy with like the positive way it's going with the quality that we're bringing in. I think one of the major challenges pointed out there is predominantly around players that probably know that they're about to go but can't go because we haven't got the replacements in yet, or not even confirmed that we will get the replacements in. And that's why I don't know what the Premier League or whatever can do about this, or in general transfer. I know it's changed recently in years anyway, but I just wish everything was done before the season started, and that's the way it kind of should be. In my opinion, it would just be so much easier for everyone. But I appreciate we've had the Euros, we've had Olympics, we've had the Copa America, all these crazy tournaments this summer, and it is difficult. And players, of course, naturally want to go on holiday, and rightly so. They've had big, long seasons. It's just one thing after another. But I don't know why it has to be extended to the end of August. But
I mean, when they did cut it short until just before the season, before the season, they did cut it short for 1 year, but it just didn't work out because the rest of Europe had it until the 1st of September. and then English teams had it until just before the start of the season. So if they're going to change it, they need to change it as a universal thing instead of just the Premier League.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, Romero is absolutely. I can't believe we've actually really got him. To be honest, that kind of stature of player is supposed to be like Champions League level, in my opinion. But we've done it somehow. I guess Paratici has a big hand to play in that. I just hope we're not spending the Kane money like we did with the Bale money. Because it would be absolutely phenomenal if Harry Kane stays, and we have these fantastic players coming in. I know people say like, will we or won't be a force this season in that case, but I always cast my mind back to like the Liverpool season when they weren't in the Champions League or anything, and look at the run that they had to build the momentum for the next 2-3 years. I think this could be an ideal season for us if we keep Harry and bring all these massive players in, or great players in, get rid of the crap players, and we could challenge like top 4 again. I truly believe that. I think we've got absolutely phenomenal talent in there. With the addition of new ones, we can do it. There's no doubt about it.
Do you think that can happen this season, Si, or do you see this more of like a season of transition with a view to doing that in the future?
I think it's definitely going to be a transitional season. I think obviously everyone's got to click first of all as well. That's the important thing. It's all very well bringing in players, whatever quality they are. They all have to obviously come together. And the important thing as well, on top of all that, is that Nuno's, of course, our new manager with a new philosophy, new way of tactics and everything that the players have to get used to as well. And that's not immediate. Half the players were still missing as of up until last few days anyway, because of what we just mentioned. So it's going to be difficult. But I believe with the fresh spirit, with the talent that we do, because I think our attacking options, if we get a couple more in, is absolutely phenomenal. And I do it obviously not to the level like City and arguably potentially Liverpool and stuff like that, or Chelsea. But it's right up there. It is right up there, and I'm confident in it. Like, I'm not going to say we're going to win the Premier League this year because last year's prediction was shocking. But I would say that we will do a big effort this year, I think, and it remains to see how Nuno will affect this team, how he will affect the philosophy. I have a question mark over that still, but that's what he's there to do, is prove everyone wrong, and I hope he does, because the one thing I love most is being shut up by managers and players who I've slayed or been questioned with good positive results, and obviously, hopefully, to try and win something. There's no reason why we couldn't go and try and push for some kind of trophy, albeit City would probably go for everything this year. But
don't worry, they're not in the Conference League, Si.
Mate, if we don't at least get to the final of the Conference League, there is something deeply, deeply wronger than we've ever thought about this club. But we'll see. But
we shall see.
I'm in a positive mood. I'm in a positive mood.
I can tell, Si. I can tell. You're always in a positive mood, Si. But just before I let you go, you coming down on Sunday for the last pre-season before the start?
Yeah, I might do actually. I might do on that one. So I've got a week off next week, finally. So I will probably attend that one. Unfortunately, I can't make the City one. I'm down in Devon, but I will probably be there for Arsenal. And if I am, of course, I'm going to come onto your interviews afterwards. We haven't done that, mate, in about a year and a half.
Probably longer,
and, probably longer. It's depressed me, and nothing would honour me more than to come and say hello to you guys after the Euro final that we had.
Amazing.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too, Si. Well, hope to see you Sunday, and thanks for coming on, mate.
All right. Love you guys. Nice to see you, Sim.
Nice to see you,
See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
See you, buddy.
Bye. Just while Si was on, we had a super chat from Jensen Greenshield saying, if we keep Kane this summer, what do we have to do to convince him to stay next year? Top 4 and a trophy, or just quality signings? Love from Australia.
Yeah, I think to convince him to stay,
we need to fight for the title.
Yeah, probably fight for the title and win a trophy. Probably, I would say. You can't have another trophy this season. That's not
what about
possible.
if we just about make top 4 and win the FA Cup?
I think he would still want to leave, but he might not want to leave as much. But
if we were to finish just in the top 4 and win the FA Cup, that shows massive progression.
Yeah, it does, and it shows we're going definitely in the right direction. I guess if we win a trophy, and maybe he can see that we can win trophies here, it might convince him to stay.
See, it's possible for Tottenham
it is
to lift the trophy.
It's not physically like beyond the realms of like a possibility that a trophy could be delivered. I think 100% we need to win a trophy. That's like for sure. And then I think we need to show at least big strides of competing for a top 4 or a title for sure in the league. We can't be 6th, 7th, or 8th. Again, come the end of the season, expect him to be happy with that. So it's very unlikely. I think we do anything next season. But the thing is, as well, if we win the Conference League, I don't think that would convince him at all.
No, I think it'd have to be a domestic trophy.
Yeah.
It would have to be a domestic trophy. Even a Carabao Cup, I don't think would convince him, to be fair.
Yeah, I think FA Cup and top 4 probably minimum.
Yeah, but I think that could be the end of Good Morning Tottenham, unless you want to pitch in with anything just before we go off.
Just talking about that Kunde thing that Alistair Gold said. He was saying that he was clarified and said this is information he's saying if his move to Chelsea doesn't go through, which is still expected to go through, he said. So his quotes on Kunde, just about him potentially still coming to Tottenham, is if the Chelsea deal falls through.
Yeah, and there's a bit of a Tomiyasu update from Alistair Gold as well, and he says Tomiyasu is a player that Fabio likes, and Spurs have held talks with him before. He's still away at the Olympics with Japan. Actually had their last game today, albeit with an ankle injury. I mean, he played for the whole game today, I believe. So.
Oh, did he? Okay. They played today. The Olympics. Is the final today? Was that tomorrow?
It's the 3rd round playoff. They played against Mexico, Japan.
I know. I'm saying it's the final today.
I think it's tomorrow or Sunday.
Tomorrow or Sunday. Okay. Also, did we read out those quotes from Romero? Those quotes from Romero.
We didn't read them out. No.
Maybe we should.
You got them in front of you.
I can get them up.
And Alistair Gold also said that. Oh, no, that's what you just mentioned. But on Tomiyasu, he said, some people involved in the deal on his side told me a few days ago that they were confident he would become a Tottenham player this window. So Alistair Gold thinks this Tomiyasu deal is still very likely to go through. And I think that as well. I mean, it's very likely that now the Olympics is finished that we could see some developments in this story.
Definitely. In terms of Christian Romero, there are quotes here of Romano quoting him yesterday after he landed in London. There are pictures of obviously him landing in London. He says, I only wanted Spurs because I really like this project. Paratici and the whole club wanted me, and I'll give my best. The Premier League is the best way to continue my career. So that's nice words there from Christian Romero ahead of his move to Tottenham. It seems as though Tottenham's keenness to get him through the door helped massively get this deal done.
Good.
And also, who's that journalist? Sorry?
Someone's just come in.
Okay.
Oh, who we got?
Jory.
The Jorical is back on the channel. We love every time Jory calls in, that's for sure.
Longari says that he says, so it's January. Longari says it seems the offers from Barcelona for Romero were not as fake as people thought. Congratulations to Tottenham for closing the deal, but I've always told the truth. If someone didn't know, was not my fault at all. So it seems like the
wow. I mean,
real.
Who chooses? I mean, Barcelona are in a state at the moment.
Yeah, they can't even register him. So
yeah. But anyway, let's get Jory on. Mr. Jory, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. I just I saw you were struggling with guests, so I thought, well, there isn't a better time for me rambling on, right?
Big up yourself.
There's
Jory.
no bad time for that, Jory.
Never a bad time for you to come on the channel. But what do you want to talk about today? What's your feelings around everything?
Well, I kind of feel like you as well, Ben. Like the whole Kane issue is getting very tired.
Yeah.
But I actually had a bit of a talk with my mate yesterday, Paulie, who lives in London, by the way. Great Icelandic guy, who's much more of a dedicated fan than I am, I must say. But I was kind of, I think somebody, one of your guests in the show started talking about the pressing with Kane and stuff like that. Maybe it was maybe it was grandpa or something. I can't remember, but it got me thinking, and I started watching back some games and stuff like that. And the way we played last season, I mean, it was definitely Kane like got to the next level for sure in his Kane-ness for sure, but also I think like the whole thing was very much the front end at least was set up to be Kane friendly, you know, and one thing we all could feel there was that we were kind of we weren't very dynamic going forward, you know, and we weren't using the speed that we have in Sonny and Lucas and stuff, apart from counter attacks, of course, but we weren't using it as a pressing phenomenon in the same way that really we knew from Potts, you know. So and you know, I think a lot of that is down to Kane slowing down, you know, and you know, the style was kind of moving towards more of a possession type style, you know, which I talked about with Mourinho, you know, and I thought it was a very good plan, a very brilliant plan, the first part of it, you know, but I can see how Kane is maybe also understanding how it's really like he's up against the wall a little bit. He's not going to get any faster. And Tottenham is moving in a way that's going to be high press again. I think that's all we're seeing from Nuno. That's really all we should expect from Nuno as well. It's also what kind of where we have a chance to play with the big boys is we have a lot of fast talent, you know, and we're looking at even more fast talent. So of course, Kane is always a huge asset, but I really don't think the time for setting up Tottenham around Kane is. I think that time ended with last season. I think okay, we can play Kane again as a striker, kind of as not a poacher, but like somebody hanging on up top. You know, we could definitely get a lot of good use out of him that way. But I don't think we will be able to use him, I don't think we'll see the Kane we saw last season this season with Nuno. You know, I would be very surprised with that, and I think Kane understands that as well. I think Kane understands he needs to get into a possession-based club now. That's where he's gonna do the best for his style of play now. Yeah.
Would you accept a bit of a reduced fee, for example, 130 million, if it meant this didn't drag on for the whole summer, or would you think Levy's right to dig his heels in to get the 150 in, and even if it goes to deadline day?
No, I've already said this. Like my view, I mean, I know this from from movies and film and stuff, and of course that's different. But I also know that really when you know, it's always a game of leverage, and when talent is so seminal, so overpowering, you can't just approach them as any other employee or you know, if people, I mean, there is a contract for sure, but it doesn't mean that the contract is a bond of slavery. You know, if a player comes up to you and says this contract's not working anymore for me, then of course you've got a responsibility to look at what can be done about that. And if that means that we're going to take too much of a hit as a club, or it's going to be too detrimental to the greater good of the club, then of course, yes, then we stand our ground. But in general, the general attitude should always be, in my view, just in life in general, is to try and negotiate and find a mutual happy place for both parties. I think now, like another thing that is, you know, if anybody should have learned their lessons, I think it's Tottenham. And when the cost of stagnating or you know, going into season with you know, old history, you know, players that should have gotten out and so on. that's so much more expensive than 10 million here or there. That's where you basically lose your revenue for the Champions League or whatever it is. Because you don't give yourself the full 100% chance that you can give to compete. So I really think they should definitely be trying to find a solution here. I still think it's kind of that's kind of where it is. I do think, however, Kane is in a lot worse position today after the whole Messi announcement yesterday. Not that I think Messi is a direct competitor or anything. I just think it puts more leverage out into the club side of the world. Now we have maybe the greatest goat of all time looking for a new home. That's going to put downward pressure on everybody else. Who's negotiating for a new home. So
Jory, Jory? Let me just ask you this: What's your opinion on the way Tottenham are doing business this summer? And are you feeling positive about the players that we've brought in, got out, or do you think that we're still leaving it a bit too late and there's still too much to do to get ready for this new season?
To be honest, I think it's kind of amazing how quick Paratici is. What was left too late was to even get Paratici in, let alone Nuno. That was left way too late. So. And that's once again, it's down to Levy, and I like I said it here and I said it on Twitter and stuff. I think Paratici is doing a great job in spite of Levy, in spite of having to work for Levy. So I am quite positive, and I actually do believe that Paratici is the kind of guy that could really pull like this crazy, like 5 out, 5 in type things in the last week. If anybody can do it, I think it's him. I don't know if that's gonna happen. To be honest, I think Aurier is a worrying sign. I think Sissoko should try and use his head now and understand that a comfy end of his career in Qatar with Toby or whatever is definitely what you should be looking at now. He'll get the best money, and I think if he tries some Premier League stuff, he's going to be a big disappointment, because you can imagine if one of the smaller clubs here signs him, they're going to have a little bit of this is Sissoko who won the World Cup and all of that. It's a little bit of a brand that they think they're signing, right? So, and we know better, of course. So I hope that they can do something like that. I'm not super surprised. Like, these guys talk together, and like the French, just all French players, apart from the best maybe like Mbappe or something, seem to be absolutely rotten personalities. Sorry to say. I'm not trying to generalize here. I think they basically end up generalizing themselves every time. So, and what I'm pretty sure that we have a huge problem with Ndombele. His head is so not good, and he's so impressionable. And these two guys did a big job on him, and it's really gonna be a kind of a test case to see if Nuno can. I do believe Nuno would be the kind of guy that actually could get Ndombele right. But I would also actually, as much as I hate saying, like, there's nobody I enjoy more watching with the ball than Ndombele on a good day. Really, yeah. Even Kane doesn't. Like, Ndombele is so original,
he's so special.
New.
He's a special player.
Yeah, you've never, like, what he does, you haven't seen anybody else do it, and like, it's really something else. So. With all due respect to the rest of our great players, he's really special when he decides to be.
I mean, Jose Mourinho was absolutely spot on about him. He said, in that position, there's no one that has the technical ability that's better than him, but he just needs to sort his mentality out because that's what's holding him back.
Yeah. And I mean, like, we have a Pogba plus there, basically. But we have a much more, as difficult as Pogba has been for Man United, I think Ndombele is even more sensitive. As far as I know, he doesn't have the same absolute crappy agent as Pogba, which is not helping United any. But I think it's a very, very difficult situation. I also for me, Ndombele is also probably the kind of guy that's never going to learn proper English, and like he's going to tend to isolate. He's a little bit too fragile, his ego is a little bit too fragile. I think, the greatest hope I would have for somebody like him is like maybe if Delhi could get through to him or something. I really think like that kind of, because we know even as much as we kind of criticized Delhi last season, I think what we, at least my impression of Delhi is that he is overwhelmingly positive, if at all he can be, like towards his friends, towards whatever, and I think that's definitely what Ndombele needs a lot of. He needs some counterbalance to all this negativity that friends like Aurier and Sissoko and Toby probably pumped into him, so I'm glad Toby's gone. I hope Sissoko is going soon, and I certainly hope Aurier is going as well. I really have more and more confidence in both Nuno and Paratici for each day that elapses. So,
Jory, what's your opinion on next season, this upcoming season? Do you see it more as a transitional season, or can we actually do something this season?
I mean, if this window it becomes like even more successful. I mean, I wouldn't say it's successful now. Now we're kind of holding water. We've got Romero in, which is absolutely amazing. Now we need a number 2 CB, I think. We need a right back. I think the wings we can live with. I would love to see a Damsgaard getting in there. I think, I was hoping for Joachim Andersen as a number 2 CB. I trust Nuno in that regard. If he says he's not the right fit, then fine. But for me, it's just I would want to get some kind of bonus, like the sum of the players, like a Højbjerg and a Damsgaard, is going to be more than the individual parts, and I think we saw that already in the Euros, how synced the Danish team is, they've got a really strong kind of squad spirit going there, and I think we'll benefit for that if we get a Damsgaard in there. I think he's very creative. I think his idol probably is Eriksen, so we will probably see a lot of I of course grew up in Denmark and played all my football in Denmark, and I know that from Michael Laudrup's time, the number 10 role or the playmaker role has always been a huge thing in Denmark, even more than maybe the striker role. So often you'll see that best talents go that way rather than go into a pure striker attacking forward type thing. So I have a lot of belief in Damsgaard. I would love to see him come in, but in general, I think my feeling is that Nuno has a real plan, and Paratici is managing to execute really well. That's kind of my feeling about how things are going.
All right, Jory.
Yeah.
Absolute
All right.
pleasure as always, my friend.
Good to see you, man.
And yeah, we're back. We're back with the post-match fan shows on Sunday. So look forward to hearing from you if you do watch the game. North London Derby friendly, they're calling it.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll try and call in. But I was gonna say also, guys, like we're on a project path now, which is like we're at the starting point. Now it's gonna be a walk up the hill. That's always fun, you know. The tumble down the hill is never fun. That's what we just got over with. Now it's a walk up the hill. So we have a fun season ahead. I'm pretty sure of that.
Let's
and
hope,
I
let's
also
hope
think
Levy lets us climb the hill.
Yeah, and I think if Levy lets Nuno and Paratici do their thing, we'll get into the Champions League after the season.
I hope you're right, Jory. But
right.
look, always a pleasure speaking to you, man. We'll speak soon.
Likewise. Take care,
Nice
guys.
one, Jory. Good to see you,
Cheers.
my friend.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
One more?
Well, there's a quick update. Charlie Eccleshare says permanent circuit move Tottenham to Sunderland expected to go through. Hope it works out for him. A real talent. Sad to see him go. Someone I thought and wrote about and could be a real star for Spurs one day, but he's leaving permanently. So there's Eccleshare confirming Sirkin on his way out permanently to Sunderland.
Sunderland. It is a shame. It is a shame, but he wasn't really going to get that many minutes this season. So, I mean, I would have liked to have seen him go out on loan, but look, it is what it is, and you've got to respect the player's decision, and we wish him all the best in the future, to be honest. We do.
Yeah, for sure.
But let's get Brad on. Let's get Brad on for the last caller of the show. Brad, how's it going, mate?
Good,
all
thanks. Yeah, on the day off today, so
you look
looking at
nice.
you look a bit more relaxed today, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
But it looks as though Christian Romero is going to be announced today. What else do we need in that back line apart from Christian Romero to make us, a top 4 candidate, let's say?
Well, after watching Wednesday night against a decent team, I mean, the culture of the game and the MK Dons, they're League 1, League 2 teams. We played a decent, there's a pretty strong Chelsea lineup as well. I watched the first half, wasn't impressed, and I thought we basically need a whole back line, all 4 of them. I thought the goalkeeper was pretty good, but the whole 4 seemed to be at odds with each other. Romero, once he gets settled in, I think will be a good buy. But we need someone to go next to him. We need a right back. I like Reguilon. I like Sessegnon, but I still think we possibly need a bit of cover there as a defensive left back. Maybe Ben Davies could do that, but certainly watching it on. Certainly the first half anyway, I thought we looked very, very ropey. And it was just like old times, really. But, I mean, I'm hearing that, I think that, what Jory was saying, I think we will get the players in, but it'll be quite late in the window. And I think we'll have to, as I've said before, actually sort of spend a bit of time getting them bedded in, Nuno's coaching tactics and that. So it's going to be a slow start to the season. So I don't see... that would be anywhere near Champions League this season, but I think that as we get towards the end of the season, or maybe in the turn of the year when the cups start happening, that we'll start to get it together, and then hopefully next season will be the season that we start to do stuff very similar to Pochettino, his first season.
Yeah, but it's just frustrating, isn't it? Considering we've been 2 seasons in the wilderness, and potentially we could be a 3rd season without Champions League football. We will ask this question in Super Chat. I'll put this to you: if Harry Kane was to stay, what do you reckon Spurs need to do this season to convince him to stay beyond just 1 more year? Or is there any scenario you kind of see Kane being convinced Tottenham or is the right place for him in the future if he was to stay beyond the window?
I think it'd be minimum Champions League by the end of the season, and he said it himself, didn't he? He said that if he thinks that the club are going forward, and that he will stay. And we're obviously not going forward; we've gone backwards. So I think Champions League, will be a must because he obviously wants to play in the Champions League. He wants to play at the top level. Champions League will be a must, and I don't think winning a cup will be the be on it and end all of him staying. But I certainly think that, as myself hopes that at the end of the season, we think, watch us go next season. We're going to challenge for stuff next season. Look at the players we've got in. look at the players we've got in January, maybe, for instance. Let's do it. We can do this. And I think if we've got that, then I think I think he'll stay. But I think that the first thing will be Champions League football, which, we all admit is doubtful at this stage.
Do you see the news of Michael Dawson returning to the club as in an ambassadorial role after announcing his retirement? What's your thoughts on that? And were you a big fan of Dawson when he was at the club?
I love Michael Dawson. I really liked him. He's a wholehearted player. I've liked him since he's left the club. He's doing his punditry and that. The funny thing was, I was actually watching Sky Sports News, and it was announced. He announced his retirement, and he said he was going to be working for Sky. And I thought, okay. So I actually tweeted, "Oh, he's working for Sky. At least we got someone Spurs on Sky now," sort of thing. And then this guy goes, "Oh, hang on a minute. I think he's doing something else." And then I went on the website and I saw that he'd signed as the new club ambassador. So I think he talks a lot of sense, and he's obviously still loves the club very much so. When he's been on punditry and that sort of thing. So I think it'd be a good I won't say signing, but a good addition to the
exactly. And Ledley and Dawson back together, the old partnership.
I didn't think of it that way. Well, what's Ledley doing then?
They're both club ambassadors.
Oh, they're both right. Because this is what I didn't actually read. The whole official Tottenham thing. I didn't read the whole thing. I just sort of went to say else. Yeah. I suddenly thought, what's happening to Ledley King? Because he's obviously not in the coaching staff anymore. But they're joint ambassadors. Yeah, right.
They're joint ambassadors.
Yeah.
I
the
think
band are back together again.
Exactly, the band are back together again, and I believe that behind the scenes, Ledley King is doing his coaching badges now as well.
That's what I've heard as well.
Which is actually mad to me when you think about it, because I thought he had some sort of coaching badges. So he was on the staff last season trying to coach our defence with no coaching badges whatsoever. What amateur club we are.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it must be the old thing. Oh, he's played in defence. He must know how to coach it. But
exactly.
It doesn't work that way. I actually did a coaching badge when I was 17. Long time ago. Probably done in black and white actually, but a long time ago. And
it wasn't that long ago, Brad. It wasn't that long ago.
It's very difficult because you have to. I mean, I won't pretend to admit that I know loads and loads about tactics. I've got a basic knowledge, but that's about it really. But I think that obviously if you're Ledley King and you're playing at the high level, then you build up your knowledge. And so the coaching badge will probably be just adding to that and making it more official, and and that sort of thing. But I'd like to think he'd be a good coach. I mean, he's been a good club ambassador. He's always talks well on TV. He obviously was one of the best defenders we've ever had. So I'd like to think he'd be a good ambassador. Yeah,
definitely. Are you making your way to the game on this weekend?
I'm not. No, I've paid for the live stream, so I'll be watching the live stream. We'll be going to the first game. I've renewed my season ticket and all that sort of thing. We'll be going to the first game, I can't make it on Sunday, so I'll be watching it and on the Mind stream. So
and you'll be calling in and giving Simeon your opinions after the game. That would be nice.
Well, I just heard you say that. After show thing, so it'd be my We Are Tottenham TV debut on the after show thing.
Yeah, it'd be brilliant.
I used to love watching you guys during lockdown. It was brilliant. I used to love it because I sit there really annoyed at another rubbish Tottenham performance, and then you get your grandpa on and it'd be the voice of reason, and I'd calm down a bit. And then through that, you get to see people like David Harris. He's like, there's this really funny Irish guy on there, sort of thing. And suddenly he's got his own show, and I've been on his show and that sort of thing, and so I've got to know him a bit. So it's great. It was a real sort of family thing. I think the only problem now is, I guess. I mean, I don't know what you guys are going to be doing because you'll be going to the games, I'm presuming. So
yeah, I mean, we've got people helping us out with the watch-alongs and the fan shows. So I mean, me and Simeon are both going to be in the studio and going to games. So I mean, we won't. I don't know. It's going to be hard to manage, but I'm sure we'll make it happen. But I think we're both going to the first game of the season.
I don't want you to give away your location to the We Are Tottenham TV Batcave, but I presume you're quite close to the ground.
We're probably about half an hour, 40-minute drive away.
Okay, that's not too bad. It's not too bad. Yeah. So and I mean, I don't get to many away games because my loyalty points aren't that high. Well, they're high, but they're not high enough, to some of the grounds that only give you so many thousand people. And obviously, I've been trying to get to the Arsenal and Chelsea games for the last 5 or 6 years, and it's just impossible because they, just sell out. But luckily, those games are on TV. So certainly for the away games, I'll be watching those on TV and I'll join in afterwards. Although I might have to keep off the beers a bit.
It might make for good viewing, Brad. It might make for good viewing.
Well, the weird thing is, during lockdown we used to have a video chat with my mates on a Saturday night, with beers and that, and I'd be watching music or whatever and drinking beer and that, and they have these video chats. And then when I did my We Are Spurs, my Spurs story for Dave Harris for the Irish, one of my friends saw it and he goes, "It's really weird seeing you like sober, sort of." I went, "Oh yeah, right, okay, right. I'm gonna go on these after show. I better make sure I'm not drinking a lot." So yeah,
big up yourself.
I think I'm about the same. So
I'm sure you do. But Brad, big up yourself. Thanks for coming on, and we'll speak to you soon, mate.
Cheers, guys. Have a good day.
And to you, mate.
Nice to see you, Brad.
Bye.
And that was Brad. Thank you very much for coming on. Is there any more news to get through?
No, I think that's it for the time being. I might have some later on today, but I think for the time being, that's everything.
Yeah, so over the next couple of days, you'll be getting a predicted lineup off us, some more Tottenham updates. And yeah, just getting prepared for the last pre-season game of the season. Simeon will be in here with the return of John Cooper. We'll be back for the watch long for the Arsenal game. So everyone tune in for that. I think it's 2 p.m. kickoff.
Yep.
And then obviously that'll be followed by the post-match fan show. So a weekend full of content for you guys. So thank you everyone for watching today. Keep your eyes peeled on the channel today because the Romeo Agresti interview is going up, plus a few more bits and pieces. So thank you everyone for joining today. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always,
come on you Spurs.